very excited to have the man, the myth, the legend, Dan Henry, here with me at Grand Central Watch. I think we have a really interesting story of how we met. The best way I can tell it is I had this watch here, the 1963, and it came into the store with a cracked crystal. And I look at the watch and I say, wow, this is a high dome glass crystal. Where am I gonna find this? There's no way that I'm gonna go to a supplier and get this. So I said, I have to reach out to the manufacturer, to you. So the first thing I do is I go online and I see your website and I see all the models. I never heard about it before, I never saw the watch before. And I see a lot of watches here, right? I was so blown away by not only the look of the watch, but all the different styles that you had and the price point. I said, oh my God, how could this watch be this price? So the first thing I did is I reached out to you and I said in an email, I introduced myself, the company, and I think within 10 minutes you had already replied to me saying, I know you, I've heard of your company.
I knew you before because of the vintage. I was always traveling to New York to buy vintage watches, surf for vintage, so
Right.
I already was in the market a long time. So I remember when, since I was like maybe 12 or 20 years ago, I remember looking to your window. I just started just browsing around.
Right.
So I knew you from that.
And then you and I, we WhatsApped and we started back and forth, and that's how the relationship began. Maybe you can tell me how you started, how the passion started and how you started.
I started very young collecting vintage watches.
Okay.
Just collecting watches as any other watch collector.
What was your first watch?
I think my first watch was a Star Wars Timex in the 70s.
Okay.
But my first vintage watch, when I really get into the vintage world, the first I bought for myself with my own money, I was 12. It was an Omega Dynamic, the one with the oval shape.
Cool.
And I wear this watch for maybe 4 or 5 years, and everybody, hey, what a cool watch, what is this? And this kind of brings me to more deep into watch collecting, because on that time I already was known as a watch guy geek, and my friend was already asking me to buy watches and to find watches for themselves.
And how old are you now? What were you about?
I'm 47.
No, but at this time when that was going on, were you 20? Were you in your 20s?
I became a professional watch collector. I mean, professional, really waking up to go into the flea markets every weekend.
Right.
Since 18 or 19.
Wow.
It's a hobby. It's totally addicting, you know. I don't have a house in the beach, or I just have watches, and I spend my weekends on the flea markets, really searching for watches for 30 years already.
I think you have a really amazing eye. You have such a keen eye looking at your collection, because one of the amazing things about going to your site, I'm sure everybody knows, but maybe you can tell everyone, if they want to see your personal collection of the watches you own.
The start point of my brand is how my brand was born. It's the www.timeline.watch.
Timeline.watch, okay.
And we have like around 1,000 watches there.
Do you add to it?
Yeah, I'm trying to, but I'm a little short of time. But I'm collecting watches for more than 30 years. So what I decided, it was a mess in my house. I have a room there that I used to call, now everything is in separate places. But I have a room there that I used to call the sea, with all the watches around. As more you see, more you create an eye. And you more educate yourself for something.
Right.
So what's the difference from the more modern collectors, the guys that are collecting for 5, 6, 7 years ago, is that I really seen watches for much more time, And this is it. It's how you educate yourself. You
Right.
want to collect paintings, go to the museum. You have to keep visiting.
Mhm.
Then you create your mind what you like. But I think I have a sharp eye. This is also something
Right.
that I can see by my other friends, the other friend collectors. I'm always so when I buy something, when I come out with something that I never seen this, so they start I want to have this watch.
I think
too.
that probably was very helpful when you decided to create a brand, to have such a keen eye.
This is one of the reasons I decided to create my brand because of the timeline.
Uh-huh.
I was Houdinki made an article about the timeline, my collection itself,
Okay.
and I started receiving like 50 emails a day of guys that want to buy my collection, and the guy that really have sharp eyes like us,
Right.
but they don't have the opportunity or even the time or maybe sometimes even the money. They don't want to invest this kind of money in a vintage watch, but they want to use something like this
Right.
and something that really feels vintage. So I decided to create watches, vintage watches to my friends.
Yes.
That's it. Like in a poker table. Everybody, hey, sell me this watch. Sell me this. I'm gonna make you one for you like this, but not like this, you know.
Right. You created a watch brand. It's a lot of people do it. Not many people are successful at it. How do you go about doing that? How do you start? Where's the first factory? Who do you talk to? I know you told me you design, I think, right?
Yeah.
You do all the designs. So tell me a little bit. How did this all come together?
Well, it was because of half because of the timeline, half because of the watch collecting. So I decided I have to create something out of this.
So how did you go about it? What were your parameters? Did you say, these are my goals. I want to create something vintage, something beautiful, something inexpensive?
Yes, I want to create vintage, affordable vintage watch brand.
Uh-huh.
So I create watches based on the models I most like on my collection, and just based on the vintage designs. Something for me was something very obvious. We launched the first one with the Diver Automatic 1970.
Okay.
They are all limited edition, so we made only 1970 pieces of each.
Okay.
In this case,
And this came in 2 sizes, right?
yes,
that came in-
the second size came a year later.
Oh, okay.
Because everybody, this is the 44. Everybody was asking for
It's too big, or
smaller, yeah. So
Uh-huh.
I created 40.
and then this was the year later. Was the
Yes,
next size.
yes.
Looking at some of these details, the bezel rotates, and not only does it rotate, it actually ratchets into place at every 5-minute marker, which I think is a beautiful little detail of the watch. The hands, the coloration of the hands and the dial that you made in that brownish color, I think is absolutely stunning. I know this comes with a silver bezel also, which gives it a very different look. I think it's the first one that I purchased myself, was this watch with the silver bezel, because I really was drawn to every last detail. And the high dome glass crystal. This is also one of my favorites. I wear it all the time, the 1939.
Yeah.
I think the detail of the printing and the combination of the black with the speckled gold hands and gold numbers, I think it's just unbelievable.
This dial is the most complicated of the whole collection.
Uh-huh.
Takes me like 1 year of prototyping. Actually, this one we launched it 4 months after the
original
the
four.
original 4,
Uh-huh.
because the dial was reproved when I was
Right.
inspecting the
So how many
the
times
dials.
did you actually get a prototype that you rejected it on this one?
For the last the 64 20 times.
This is the 1964.
Yeah.
When it came out, I believe the one I'm wearing, I kind of had to even beg you for one personally. I think I got one that came back to the store, and I ended up keeping it
Yeah.
because there were none left. Tell me why it took 20 times. Tell me a little bit about the watch. Why all the
It was-
details that are now perfect on the watch.
This was tough. I designed this dial based on most of the watches of the 60s, the small chronicles like the Carrera at the
Uh-huh.
top time.
And this is the finished product, and on top of the watch, you made this unbelievable, rice bead bracelet that you've seen used by Omega, Hoyer over the years.
Quite
Companies like
comfortable,
that.
yes.
Unbelievably comfortable, even I like with the little release here.
You know what the secret of my brand? I don't invest in marketing.
Okay.
So if I want to really push the sales, I have to spend another $200 to sell each watch.
Right. So you
And
have
I
to
would
sell it for $450.
$450. So I simply don't have any money for the marketing.
I think we're the only dealer in Manhattan, which is
Yes,
very
you
nice,
are.
and we're happy to represent the brand. As excited as I am when I talk about it here, it's not hard to get excited about this stuff for the price point, the value that you're getting. I want to get into the last production, which also, was blown away by. This is what are we calling this one?
1972.
Okay, this is the 1972, and it's an alarm watch, right? And it's modeled, I guess, after you would see the old Porsche designs or the Lejeur's IWC, right?
Yes, now the Sims, Belrose are doing it also,
Yes.
and in the past also the Hoya Pasadena.
Uh-huh.
They're all doing the same, industrial design
Sure.
from the early 70s.
First of all, the weight of this watch, number one, is unbelievable.
really
It's
solid.
got the alarm feature also, which you could set
No
up.
other brand ever used this movement before. It's
Really?
on the order,
Uh-huh.
but you can Google it.
Okay.
And, you can even go on Amazon. You won't see any other brand using because it's quite expensive
Okay.
and hard to get in big quantities. I wait 8 months to receive this movement for season.
So what is it's a Miyota what?
A 0S80.
Okay, no, because we're honored to be your service center, which is great, and
Yes.
hopefully you're happy with what we're doing so far. I think you did an amazing job.
Thank you for doing this for me.
Yes.
We don't have any partners, only you
Right.
and one guy in Tokyo.
Uh-huh.
Because most of the other brands, other partners, other stores, they want to get a lot of discounts.
Yeah.
They don't do it just for the love of what they do,
Exactly. And maybe they don't understand only selling a $220 watch, or you have some under 200, right? This one's $190. It looks like a
how much you're
Vacheron.
making? $50, $60.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Maybe they don't want to go through the hassle
No.
of doing that. But I didn't bring the watch in because I was looking to make the most money. I brought it in because it fit exactly with what we do. Your passion, your sincerity, your real love for the craft and watches in general, and your whole life, it seems like, has brought you here and been around
That's
this.
true. I'm doing watches for my friends,
Uh-huh.
That's what I feel.
Yeah.
I'm not creating a watch brand for the whole.
And people are going to get excited. We're going to have some new stuff coming out next year.
Yes,
Maybe?
next year I'm planning 4 or 5 watches.
Okay.
The next one is going to be ready in about 4 months.
Right.
3 months.
All right.
And it's going to be another smaller chronograph.
Okay.
With the same 38mm case, but I'm
Beautiful.
making with the external case, external bezel.
Uh-huh.
It's a
Very nice.
fantastic watch. It's always my favorite. Always my favorite is the last one.
Right.
So in 3 months it's going to be my favorite.
Yeah.
Check the watch in New York. They have it
Absolutely.
in
If
stock,
you're in
so-
New York, you're lucky. You can come to Grand Central
Yes,
and
yes.
see the watch. So I must say, this was amazing. You're amazing.
Thank you.
I know what it takes to put a watch together, and when you're ordering something from different places, especially to try to get it right. The fact that you're rejecting something between 8 and 20 times, it shows your love and your passion and your perfection. So
We
for
have
instance,
only one chance to do it right,
Right.
This is it. The market won't give me a second chance.
And in the Ponca City Blackwell area, 68 degrees today.